Hey everyone, so in today's video, we're gonna be talking about the 10 jobs that I would love to have in Welcome to Bloxburg. And these are normal jobs like your pizza delivery or your ice cream vendors. These are actual jobs where you actually need to do something that is productive, or at least feels productive, because it's still a game, so, you know. Anyways, let's get started with number one. And number one is a fashionista job. I know it sounds a little bit weird, and it sounds like, I don't know, a royal high job or something like that, but a fashionista job would be really cool. It would be a bit like the hairdresser job, but I would want it to be more personal in a way. So for example, a client comes and then they ask for like a casual outfit, and they want a certain, or they have a certain list of like clothes that they like, or once you put it on, they react with something like, I don't like this shirt, and then you have to change the shirt or something like that. That would be so cool. And like just making an outfit from scratch and like doing hair on people and stuff like that, like not just waiting in hairdresser for people to come around and actually, I don't know, say what they need and then you click through a list of hairstyles. No, not like that. It would be more like if you would go into the closet in Bloxburg and pick an outfit for yourself, you would actually pick it for a client and they would say what they like or dislike, and then you would also get paid, not for every job the same amount, but for the type of job you have. Like for example, if a normal NPC, quote unquote, comes in and says, I want to have a casual outfit, I have $109, for example. But you can also have clients that want, for example, I want an evening dress, I am a VIP, I offer $10,000 for that, and it would be like 5% of your jobs that you have would be like VIPs that come to you. And like the more you level up, the higher that percentage gets of VIPs that you can get. I know I'm like really confusing right now and I make no sense, but I'm really trying to explain like what I want the fashionista job to be if I were to make a job, or if we had to have a new job in Welcome to Bloxburg. So I hope I make some sense at least. Then number two is a YouTuber or streamer job that you can do on the computer at home so that you don't even have to go to work. It would be like, for example, running up to computer and clicking play game. You could do stream or do YouTube, and your income grows if your videos get bigger. For example, if you make a video that does terribly, you will get paid less than if you get a video that does really well, and then you get like so much percentage, like in the fashionista job in number one that I explained. For example, there's like a 2% chance that you get a hit and that you get like 100,000 views, which makes you a lot of money, but then there is a lot of chance that your video flops as well. And the more you level up in that job, the higher the chances of your video not failing would be, and like your income would go up with that as well. And I think that would be really cool to see as well. So this is like the second job where I want to change the type of income you have depending on how well you actually do or which clients you take on. Then number three, now this one, I don't know, I don't know if it would ever be possible to do that, but like a pet hotel or a baby daycare, something like in those lines where you get NPCs to your homes, like parents drop them off, whether it's a bunny or whether you have a daycare and it's a baby that they drop off. It's just like an NPC comes to drop a living thing off at your house. That sounds so weird. And like you make a little room for it. I would love to personally have bunnies and chickens, and like people that are coming in would be like, oh yeah, we're going on a trip for 3 days, could you take our bunny for $80 a day or something like that. But then depending on how much space you supply, like for example, if it's based on sleeping spots for the bunnies, on how much space you supply, you can get like 20 bunnies in there, so 20 times $80 a day, or depending on how much the people want to offer for you to keep their bunny or their chicken or their cat or their dog or their baby. Like even a daycare could be just on a daily basis where they come in at 7 a.m., they leave when you close, like for example at 7 p.m. Something like that would be really cool to see, and then you get paid on how well you supply for that living being. For example, if their moods are low, when the owner comes to pick them up, your income will decrease. For example, it will be like in Cruise Ship Tycoon where you get like a breakdown. For example, like $80 a day times 3 would be $240, but the moods are low, so you get minus 20%. If the moods are high, you get plus 20%, something like that. Like, I don't know, just like a breakdown on how well you did on that. But first of all, we need to get pets in Bloxburg before that is possible. For the babies, we could do that, but I mean, it would be kind of hard, wouldn't it, to like implement that. So I'm only dreaming here. Keep in mind that this video is purely me and my thoughts I know how hard it is to add all of those things into one game, and I'm not saying that they should be added because it's really hard to do. It's just me dreaming and me being like, I wish we could have that, but I know that it's possible that it will never happen because it's just too hard to make. Then keeping in line with NPCs coming to your house, and I have mentioned number 4 in previous videos before because it's something that I've been wanting for the longest time now, and that is an actual restaurant, takeaway, or drive-through at your home. You don't have to wait for players to come around, like you don't have to be like ABC to come to my cafe or something like that. No, NPCs would come to an assigned spot in your house. For example, if you make a certain room with chairs and assign that to say that is my restaurant, they will not enter the rest of my house and sit, for example, in the sofa and order stuff. Just assign a spot in your house as to where you want the NPCs to sit, or make a drive-through. Just have a window that you assign. But that would be actually so cool to have. Like, NPCs coming to your house, sitting down and ordering stuff, and then you have to like fill out these orders. For example, someone comes in and says, I want 2 portions of gelatin cake, and then you have to come back and give them 2 portions of gelatin cake, and then they leave money after they're done eating, for example, and a new customer comes in, and you open and close when you want, basically. So I don't know, it just seems like a really fun thing to do. I don't know how hard that would be to add in, because you do work with NPCs and you do have to assign certain spots in your house that are easily accessible so that you cannot trap NPCs in there. And if it's too big and like 300 NPCs are at your plot, you will lag the entire server. So there's a lot to think about with that, but I think that would be so cool to have, being able to invite NPCs into your house and actually say, okay, I have like 20 seats in my house, I'm open for business. And like, you would get more customers if the environment is better. Like, if you just put tables in an empty room where there's not even a floor, you will get less customers than, for example, if you decorate the entire thing, add paintings, add plants, stuff like that. But again, that's a lot of work. It's just me dreaming, and I would love to see that. It's probably never coming, but it's nice to dream. Then number 5 is one that I know will never ever ever come to Welcome to Bloxburg. I will explain in a second, but that is stockbroker. Same thing on the computer at home. You would be able to click stockbroker. There would be like a graph that goes up and down, and then you have to be like, will the graph go up or down? And then you have to like guess whether it'll go up or down and get paid according to that. If it goes down, you actually could lose money depending on how much you invest in it. For example, if you invest like $10,000 and then you have to say, will it go up? Then you get like $20,000 back. If it goes down, you lose your money. So that would be a guessing game, and that is where the problem comes in. Gambling is not allowed on Roblox, and I do completely understand why it is not allowed, but it would be a nice job to have. I just know that will never come to Bloxburg because it is against the rules of Roblox to have gambling in your game. So let's not talk about that any further. I just thought it'd be nice to mention. It has been something that I wanted. It's just, I know it will never come to Bloxburg. Then number 6 is an Uber job, and for this job the map would actually have to change and be a lot bigger because right now it would be kind of hard to implement. However, it would work. But for an Uber driver, you take your own car as a normal Uber driver would do. You don't get a company car, so you would take your own car. You would have to have a car. Depending on how many seats you have, you can take as many people as you want, and then you have to pick up people to bring them from point A to B. It's a bit like the pizza delivery job, but I think it would be nice if people could use their own car actually to pick up NPCs and bring them to another location. For example, an NPC stands at the river. They want to go to the gas station at the highway, for example. Just an example to give, but like, if you could use your own car to do that, I think that would be pretty cool to see. And then depending on how fast your car is, like if you have a lot of money and you buy an expensive car, you would actually get something in return for that, because depending on how fast your car is, it would be nice to be able to see a thing where you get paid depending on how fast you got to the location. However, if someone fly hacks, I mean, that would be a whole other thing, right? I don't think flying takes you long to get banned, but still, it could be a problem. It would just be nice to see an Uber job actually in Bloxburg. Then number 7 is actual writer. So right now, if you go up to the computer at your house and you do write book, you will get your writing skill up, but nothing else really happens. You just type on the computer. There's nothing much to be done there. However, with a writing job, I mean, you actually do it as a job. For example, you finish sentences, or you do something on the computer that makes it look like you're writing and it's an actual job, and then you can publish books by yourself or publish through someone else. I mean, that would be really complicated. So maybe just keep it at published books for yourself. And then depending on how well your book does, you would get royalties. Same thing as like when the bills come, you have to pay the bills. Like that would be the same thing. Like your royalties came, you got $33 for your newest book or something like that. And if you write a lot of books, you will keep getting royalties for that. I think that would be so nice to see. Then number 8 is woodworker. Now with woodworker, I mean not like chopping trees, but actually like if you start that job, you get teleported to like a workspace or something like that. And I know that would be so hard to make though, but kind of like studios where you design your own custom furniture as like you are in Roblox Studio. And then depending on how well that furniture is done, or I don't know, maybe follow a blueprint or something, and like that blueprint has to be completed and then you get paid for that, but you can also buy the furniture for yourself, if that makes any sense. Like for example, you get a blueprint of like a desk somebody wants, and then with basic shapes you have to make that blueprint into something nice. But I don't know how that job would actually work. I'm very vague on that, and it was just like an idea of getting teleported to a room making custom furniture or something like that. But I will come back to that in number 10. I have a clearer idea for number 10. Number 9 is realtor. Never know how to say that. I mentioned that in previous videos as well. It would be nice to be able to have a system, super hard to implement as well, still dreaming. It would be nice to have a system where you could upload houses in a cross-server list or something like that and sell them to other players. So for example, we get rid of the starter houses because the starter houses are so outdated, and people could actually upload to a catalog and sell their houses for the home value they are. But if your house gets sold, you get like a 1% commission. So if you make a house for $200,000, you get $2,000 if your house gets sold. I think that would be so cool to have, and just a nice little extra income. Maybe 1% is very little. I don't know how many people would actually buy houses on the catalog, but I can see it being a big success, and it would be so cool to have like that realtor job where you build houses, sell them on the catalog, and if somebody buys it, you get a commission for that. I think that would be so cool to see. And then number 10 is room decorator. So I mentioned it already in the woodworker job. Room decorator would be the same kind of thing. If you go to work, you get teleported to like a room that you have to finish, and like the client would be like, oh, I want this, like I want 2 beanbags, I want 1 couch, I want 1 bed. There has to be room for at least 3 closets in my room, or there have to be at least 3 closets in my room. And then you would have to fill that out, but it doesn't really matter what closets they are, they just want 3 closets. So I think that would be pretty cool to see as well. If you would have to like decorate rooms and you could save like snapshots of those rooms, like pictures, so that you would have a portfolio that you could look at and see what you have created. And I think that would be a pretty cool job to see as well, and cool for YouTube as well, because that would be a job that you could do. Like you could go to that job and actually make a YouTube video on that in real life of like a client that says, I want a kitchen and I want 2 fridges, I want 1 stove, and then you make that room, make a YouTube video about it. I think that would be pretty cool as well. But I just think it would be cool for players as well, once they are finished with their house, that they don't feel the need to bulldoze it to just build something new, but actually they could go to work as a room decorator and decorate rooms for NPCs and then save them to their portfolio as pictures. I think that would be pretty cool to see. So anyways, those are 10 jobs that I would love in Bloxburg. So not your standard jobs, but actually more interactive jobs. However, I know that these are very unlikely to come to Welcome to Bloxburg because they are so hard to make and so hard to implement. And I don't want Froggy or Coeptus on my back. So sorry beforehand, but yes. But anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know what job you would love in Welcome to Bloxburg. I love to read about that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button and please subscribe.